Party barge, where are we?
I don't know, girl.
This comes from a previous episode. I'm still really feeling the party barge.
Yeah, no, I know you are. Okay. I hope you have a great time.
I'll just text you pictures.
Okay, great.
All right. You have a Cosmo on your couch in your air conditioning. I'll text you pictures.
I'll heart them.
Okay, great.
Patrick Hines.
Fam, join the Facebook group.
Sure.
I know that we're in the Disky.
We're in the Discord.
I'm sorry, I promised I wouldn't do it. The other day, I was in the shower. I was like, Disky's kind of a cute name for the Discord.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
All right, well, get in the Discord if you want to hang out with GP.
It's so fun.
I'm more in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
You can determine why she's more in there and why I'm more in the Facebook group.
Why?
Because I feel like Disky's a young person's game.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's just like a bunch of chat rooms.
Facebook feels like me and my mom's friends.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is. And your Instagram reels.
I know. My Instagram reels?
Well, yeah, you love your Instagram reels.
Oh, you're saying as opposed to TikTok.
Right.
I really do love Instagram reels.
Yeah.
It feels very safe for me.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I feel like the timeline is like 3 months later, you're like, oh, that's what she was referencing.
Right. Oh, yeah. Tequila came out for me like 4 months later.
You're like, oh, that's what she meant.
Girl, what are we talking about today?
Welcome to our bonus episode. This is our 4th bonus episode of the year. It's an episode of 48 Hours called The Journals of Maria Munoz.
Maria had been seeking help through the church, through a pastor.
Wasn't she also being treated for severe depression and anxiety?
She had been getting some medical attention as well. But this case was unique because she was also expressing her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions in a diary.
My fears are losing my family, losing my husband, damaging my kids, making the wrong choice.
As the DA, my job was putting the right team together to work this case.
She described that she was going through a tough time, but that she loved those kids and she couldn't wait to do more in the future.
I want to be a good mom, a mom that is present, engaged, and involved with my kids.
How important, how crucial were those journals?
Very.
So we open in the early morning hours of September 22nd, 2020. Laredo police officer Giorgio de la Cruz enters a home in Laredo, Texas.
Yeah.
And we see at the top of the stairs near the main bedroom a guy named Joel Peyote. He's dressed in surgical scrubs, and he's performing CPR on a woman who we will learn is his wife, Maria Munoz.
Yeah. And so Joel told the 911 operator that Maria had overdosed on antidepressants, but there aren't any drugs at the scene. Now,
Can you overdose on antidepressants?
Well, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
Happened.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of body cam footage because this happened in 2022. And Officer De La Cruz is here to walk us through everything.
One of the things I thought was so interesting about this moment was Officer De La Cruz is saying, this guy is in surgical scrubs and he's doing CPR. And I come in and I ask him if I can help. He's clearly a nurse or a doctor or something.
Sure.
So I believe he's a higher level of care than I can provide. And I ask him, do you want me to help? Do I help you? And he right away relinquishes giving CPR.
The medical professional turns over all CPR services to the officer.
Right.
I thought that was astonishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just thought that was but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If some layperson came in a podcasting emergency and tried to kick you or I out of a chair, I'd be like, I think I can handle this.
Oh, wow, okay.
You know what I mean?
Because we definitely do the exact same thing as
But you know what I'm saying? I just think I think it's telling.
Stay in your lane is what you're saying.
But also, I think it's telling that, imagine if you were a doctor and Mike was hurt and you're doing CPR and some cop comes and tries to, take over for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you're letting that happen.
Probably not.
You know what I mean? If you wanted Mike to live.
Which I do.
Okay.
So the husband goes into the bathroom and gets the pill container to say, this is what she overdosed on, and it's clonazepam.
Yes.
Not to be confused with lorazepam. I have to drink myself to sleep.
I don't even have my lorazepam. And we're going to do that the whole episode.
Hi, White Lotus people. So it's for...
You want to live in Taiwan?
Girl.
I know.
Oh, my God. I love where she's like, I'm praying that she hates it. She's praying that she hated the temple.
I could stand here right now and go through Parker Pose's entire career, beginning with Air Raid Freshman Bitches.
Oh, yeah.
And do it all. My lawyer liked that. I could do the entire, I can do the monologue where she tells Jack he's not allowed to ask for nights off.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'll do, oh my God, it's
Busy
a
bee.
bear in a bee costume.
Yeah.
They Thanks for nothing, Mr. Hotel Manager.
Hotel manager. But she's like, this is a bear.
In a beak
In
costume.
a beak costume. She's trying to regulate her emotions so much. That's best in show.
I know. Oh my God.
Or there's always room for me at the Dairy Queen.
I mean, how did we miss that?
The way she's flipping that little chicken breast
I
on the
believe
grill.
she's quirky. We love you. We want you to live.
Yeah. No, that's Catherine O'Hara.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My mistake.
Yeah.
Take away the gay card.
Oh my God. So Officer De La Cruz doesn't really care about the anxiety medication right now because he's doing CPR on Maria. He's trying to save her life.
Yes.
So Joel says, she's really been struggling. Quote, she's been super depressed. And this is where we learn that they have 2 little boys, Alejandro, who's 5, and Valentino, who's about to turn 2. And they are asleep in their rooms, the poor little things. They have no idea what's going on.
Even though we all do.
Right.
And so the thing about the
not lorazepam.
I can't even say it. The thing about the not lorazepam is that the husband brought it out to show the officer, and the officer gave it back to the husband, be like, I don't need this right now.
I'm trying to save her life. I'm trying to save Maria's life right now.
The husband sort of tosses it aside, and then weirdly,
when more help arrived, De La Cruz sent Joel Peyote downstairs to the kitchen. And that's when De La Cruz realized that the pill container he had tossed to the side earlier,
hey, there were some drugs here,
was now missing.
He had a prescription drug. Where is it?
weirdly, that bottle of pills that we think she just overdosed on is just gone.
Yeah, we get into all that because we see it all. So Yasmin is here. She's Maria's friend. And she is here to say Maria was an absolutely amazing mother. She loved her boys. She loved being a mother. She was learning how to play piano.
Yeah.
She grew up in Puerto Rico. She was a nurse there. And she's like sort of, she loves her boys and she loves being a mom, but she also loved what she did. So she was kind of excited to get back to her career when her boys are a little bit older and then she can kind of have it all. She's studying so she can be a nurse in Texas. So she's like Maria, and we will learn so much about her in this episode. Like, she had goals and she was doing what she needed to do to reach those goals.
And she's just one of those people who's like young and full of energy. We learned that Maria and Yoel met in Mexico. He's 11 years older than her.
Yeah.
He was a nursing student. They got married. They moved to Laredo, Texas a few years later. Now, Joel had gotten a really lucrative job as a nurse anesthetist. Those jobs pay a lot.
It's described
of money.
as a lucrative job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Gina is here and she's also a certified registered nurse anesthetist.
Now, I gotta tell you, every single person we meet who knows Yoel doesn't fucking like the guy. They're all kind of like, he's a hard worker, but definitely a dirtbag.
Yeah, and they were like, we were on Team Maria before there were teams.
Yes.
Like, everyone loved Maria.
Yes. But Gina tells us when they first met, he was very family-oriented. He was that guy in the office who would go around and show you all the family pictures and brag on his sons and brag on his wife.
And he should be because
of course.
Maria's amazing.
Yes.
So back to the scene, Officer De La Cruz is giving Maria CPR. And remember, like you were saying, how Joel brought the pills to show him? Like, oh, here's what she overdosed on.
Yes.
The pills are now gone. And we hear Officer De La Cruz ask where they went.
We hear it on the body cam.
Yeah, he's like
Officer De La Cruz really has got his eyes all over the room. It's really kind of amazing.
Because we hear him say he had a prescription drug, or where is it?
I was like, he has to have them. So that's when I asked, hey, does he have pills? He comes up to the first landing of the stairs and he tosses them to me.
All right.
So he had taken them. Now I'm thinking, now you're trying to hide something.
Why did he scoop them up?
I was trying to really understand the significance of this. So Maria has overdosed on something. Joel thinks it's this bottle of pills. He gets the bottle of pills, shows it to the officer. The officer sets it aside. And then Joel scoops it up and puts it back in his pocket and leaves with it.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's important?
Because the cops should have everything they need to figure out what happened.
Yeah, because their cops are going to need to know eventually, like, if they're pumping her stomach, hopefully she's going to live or whatever, that, like, we need to know what this was. Right.
So at 3:58 a.m., Maria Munoz is declared dead. And here's what Joel says happened.
Yeah.
They had sex. Then he corrects himself. I took a shower. He said, then I thought she was knocked out, and then I go back upstairs, and she just, oh, God. That doesn't make any sense.
And now he's doing that thing where he's fake crying. So they're in his, like, kitchen when he's talking about this, and he knows this is the part where he's got to break down.
He's also sweating like crazy.
Yes.
The cops are like, we're in uniform. It is Texas. We are wearing, quote, 20 pounds of gear. They aren't sweating nearly as much as this guy is.
No. And Erin Moriarty, the host of this episode, is like, what do you think that means? And the cop is like, he was on drugs.
Right.
Now, I don't think they get into the significance of the drugs at any point because he's taking steroids.
Yes.
And we'll see lots of pictures of him throughout his life. And he was like an average guy, but then there are pictures in which he's like really, really muscly.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they spend enough time talking about what steroids actually does to you.
Right.
You know, and
And
when
the
it does like your
aggression
moods and like roid rage is a real thing.
I mean, we see plenty of it.
We see it, but we don't really talk about it.
I agree.
You know? So like that is significant that the cops are noticing that he's on drugs, but we're not talking like cocaine. We're talking like steroids. He's like a fucking brick shithouse, as they say.
Yeah. So
never really understood that expression.
I never have either.
Have you ever heard that before?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a gay thing. Like he's built like a brick shithouse.
Like what?
But that's like a real expression. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, no, I believe
But
you.
I really don't understand what a brick shithouse is.
I mean, I know what it sounds like.
I know. But like anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess.
This guy is built like one of those.
Gross. Absolutely disgusting. They want to search the house. Hoel says no. Look, I wouldn't let the cops search my house either. But they do that thing where they're like, okay, fine, we'll just come back with a warrant. He's like, okay, fine, you can search my house. They do that tactic that they use all the time. So while they search, they put the husband in the police car to take him in for questioning.
Yeah.
Everything is on camera.
Yes.
He is sobbing and heaving with his head in his hands. He's hitting walls.
Well, when they get him into like the interrogation room, he's in full roid rage.
He's hitting walls. He's moving furniture. It was scaring some of the people down the hall in the dispatch room. So that's how loud it was.
People down the hall heard him, which is partly exactly what he wanted.
Well, they're saying that he was scaring the people in the dispatch room. Do you know how scary you have to be to scare people who work at a police station?
Who like deal with this all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, this guy was, and like, we're watching it. Like, I was scared.
Yeah. And also, like, there is that thing that he's probably trying to act sad because we know he's the fucking bad guy here.
Totally.
So he wanted people to hear, like, oh my God, that guy destroyed that interview room. He broke that table. He's in such distress.
Who was the one who was doing handstands? No, it was Jodi Arias because she was also humming. Which humming to me is like whistling to you. I know.
Why are people so noisy? I gotta tell you, we live in very polarizing times.
Yes.
What we seemingly...
Why are people so noisy? The Lord gave us a lot of ability to make sounds from our faces.
It's disgusting.
I know.
But what is seemingly bringing us all together as a nation is our collective hatred for FaceTiming on speakerphone.
Oh, no question.
My DMs.
Yeah.
Usually there's at least a few people who be like, well, actually, and like mansplain things to me. But everyone's like, girl, I have friends.
I know.
Like in real life who are texting me being like, thank God someone said it.
Yeah.
This is in these troubling times.
I can't even believe this is a hot take. I thought just everybody hated this.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I was just like screaming to people, if we have listeners who do that,
I know.
like, please stop doing it.
I told you about the time that Steve and I went out for like a romantic dinner for the first time in a year at this restaurant we used to love that used to be like really fun and really cool and hip and kind of upscale. And the people who came and sat next to us, and the tables were about 4 inches apart. And the people who came and sat next to us, both of them were on FaceTime. And the one on FaceTime sitting on, like next to me turned to face me so as to not be rude to his table companion. I'm now on the phone with him and his girlfriend.
We don't know how to do anything anymore as a society.
It's true.
I mean, honestly, like lockdown really, like, have you gone to the movies lately?
Never. No.
Don't.
10 times in my adult life.
I used to love going to the movies.
Yeah.
It is now a horrifying experience because nobody knows how to act in public. People are just like talking through the whole movie, phones, the whole thing.
No.
Broadway shows.
Yeah.
The etiquette of like people being in public.
We need more Patti LuPones yelling at people from the stage.
But it's the same thing, like, either like whistling outside, but like the FaceTiming on speaker is all part of it. It's all under the same umbrella of like no one knows how to act outside anymore.
I was gonna text this to you because I know you don't really like her and I love her.
Who?
Chelsea Handler.
Oh yeah.
She hates whistling.
Oh,
and
great.
she was like on a talk show, somebody's like, what's the thing you hate most about people? And she's like, when they whistle.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I'm not alone. But we are united as a country with hating it.
Oh my God, yes.
It's been very fulfilling.
Totally.
So Hoel is saying he gave Maria the pills, but he doesn't know how many she took.
And he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember how long he was in the shower. He doesn't remember how long from getting out of the shower to realizing that she was not responsive.
He has zero answers. He doesn't remember big things. He doesn't remember small things. And Officer Dela Cruz says something that just really applies in all situations.
He couldn't remember the minorest things. I don't know how many times I asked him, play back to me the minute you got there. What did you do? And he, well, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Well, you know what? If you remember the truth, you don't have to think about it.
If you're remembering the truth, you don't have to think about it.
Exactly.
So he can't remember anything. And it's not like, like you've gone through trauma. It's not like that.
Yeah.
He literally is like, I don't know. I don't know.
And also, Officer De La Cruz is saying that his story doesn't make it. His story is they had sex, he took a shower. He's like, well, if you take a shower, what are the things you would expect to see in a bathroom?
And then she was, quote, knocked out by the time he was out of the shower.
Right. And he's like, you would smell soap, you would see water, there would be water in the shower. He's like, that shower was bone dry. There was not a used towel. It didn't smell like shampoo.
And also, if Maria was knocked out, quote his words, by the time he got out of the shower, does that mean she was already sort of passing out?
While they're having sex?
The timing doesn't make any sense. Because you wouldn't just like pass out in 15 minutes.
Right.
So like, according to his own story, she'd already taken a ton of these pills while they were having sex. Like, what?
Right.
Either way, it's like when they lie and the lie still makes you out to be an asshole.
And it's also just like how bad, like we've seen so many people be bad at this. I mean, this guy went into this with no plan. Like, no plan.
But he did. We'll learn that he weirdly did, I think. Okay.
Well, the cops like find things all over the what I'm calling the crime scene. There's a syringe wrapper on the floor. There's what they're calling a needle catheter on the stairs.
Yeah.
Which is basically like a needle. Syringes and IV equipment in a medical bag were also found on the scene.
Right. So immediately I'm like, stay stupid, everyone.
Yeah.
Now, fine, this guy's wearing scrubs, like maybe he'd have that, but I doubt it.
Well, and they also ask him why he would have syringes at home, and that's when he taps his bicep, and the guy's like, oh, you're doing steroids.
Right. And what's kind of amazing, like maybe this guy's just so fucked up, is that he truly thinks this cop is on his side.
Right.
Which is never the case, everybody.
But also, like, the cop's doing a good job then.
Right. Like, it's really obvious and kind of incredible to watch that he thinks they have this little secret that he does steroids, and I'm like, they're not on your side.
Not on your side.
They're never on your side.
No.
So Joel says that the needles and everything they found are for his steroids.
Right.
Now, meanwhile, Angela and her husband Luis have rushed over to the house
to be with the kids.
To be with the kids, right?
Yeah. And this is where Luis is saying, like, I feel like they're mostly Maria's friends, but Luis is also like hangs out with Yoel.
They work together.
And Luis is saying that
he was changing, like, more friendly with girls.
Flirting more.
Yeah.
The family man who had once bragged to friends and colleagues about his wife and kids began changing his social media posts too.
He deleted the pictures of Maria, or he just started posting everything by himself, not with his kids.
He deleted all of the photos that make him look like the family man he is from his social media. And now he's just like a gym selfie account. So it's not
the world does not need more of those.
No,
and that's coming from the gayest gay guy you've ever. We just don't. We've got plenty. We are full up over here.
It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. So it's not just that the tone of his posts changed.
I take it back. Post your gym selfie.
I was like, why is he lying?
I'm rethinking all of that, actually.
Like, what?
You know what? Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
But upload your
Rule
shirtless
number
pictures.
one.
Yeah.
So it's not that he just changed the tone of his post, which is like, fine, people change, whatever, he's like a gym rat now. But he deleted the old photos.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want anyone to scroll through and be like, oh, he's married with kids. Like, he wants to erase that part of himself completely.
This is the part where I'm like, then just leave your wife.
I know.
I don't understand why it is not that simple.
I don't either.
Just, if you want to get out of this marriage and abandon your family, you're a piece of fucking shit.
But do
just
it.
go do that.
Just do it.
Yes.
Maria will be just fine.
She'll
Well,
be
that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. She can't be just fine because she will be thriving, and that can't work for him.
Oh.
So, but he's also like bragging about all the money he's making, which I'm sorry is the worst fucking look.
Of course.
Like, he's showing off, he's buying cars, he's telling everyone what everything costs in his life. Like, also, like, as Maria, she's probably mortified.
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy?
But also, like, we get this confusing thing here where we learn that Yoel is cheating on Maria, and he's got a girlfriend, and her name is Janet, and she seems awesome. She's a surgical nurse at the place where he's like a nurse anesthetist. I can't say that word.
Oh my God, it's like corroborating all over again. Anesthetist.
Yeah, anesthetist. Because you gotta say it kind of gay. Like, you gotta slow it down and really enunciate.
It's
anesthetist.
It's like that Dana Carvey bit where you can't say judicial system without sounding hammered.
Judicial system.
Judicial system.
Rural juror.
And that's when he does, he did a really old bit, like in the early 90s, about the OJ trial during the OJ trial.
Oh, really?
Like, it happened because it was everything. So it's about how, like, it can't be, like, we're framing OJ you in, like, it's not a conspiracy.
Right. Yeah,
but he goes through, like, all of the characters, and it was still, like, as the OJ trial was happening, he was doing this bit.
Oh my God.
That's how much it consumed everyone, but that's where that judicial system thing comes
That's
from.
really funny. But yeah, so anyway, this woman Janet in another light would be cool.
Well, in 2018, right after Maria gave birth to their second child, Joel starts this affair with Janet. They were traipsing around Europe. Maria has a toddler and a newborn at home.
And I don't understand because I don't understand if Maria knew.
Which countries were that he took?
Well, there was one trip, there was Spain, and then the next trip was France and Greece, I believe.
There you go. There you go. So Maria found out about that while he was there with Janet.
Maria has a toddler and a newborn at home.
And I don't understand because I don't understand if Maria knew, but also how could she possibly not? Like
she did.
Yeah.
She totally knew because she always had a feeling her husband was cheating.
But my thing is like I feel like she had a sense that he was cheating, but like now he's gone for 2 weeks to go to Europe. Like,
well, she found the plane ticket.
Yeah.
I'm sure he lied and said I'm away on business.
I
it's
guess.
some boring convention or whatever. But she found the plane ticket.
A nurse anesthetist convention.
Anesthetist convention. What?
Corroborating the story about being at a nurse anesthetist convention.
Right. Okay, you did it.
Thank you.
Discussing the judicial system.
Discussing the judicial. I can't. Now it's a bridge too far.
Yeah. So this confirmation of the cheating made her very upset. Obviously,
Yeah.
she did suffer from depression, so she was prescribed medication.
Yes.
So, but she also. This is why this episode is really well done because we have so much of Maria here.
Yeah.
Because she started writing in her journals.
Yeah.
And we see from Maria herself, like she was praying and begging every entity, every deity for help. Like she's so unhappy. It's so heartbreaking.
It is.
Like she's writing poems like, please, I beg you, Lord, I don't want to be sad anymore. I don't want my heart to hurt. I don't want my mind to be in torture.
Yeah.
Like she's just laying it all out. It's so sad.
And it seems to work for a minute because they say that things kind of turn around for Joel and Maria.
Joel treated Maria to a lavish getaway in Las Vegas.
And she showed me a couple of Louis Vuitton he purchased for her.
But what seemed like a second chance for her marriage didn't last. Joel could never quite leave Janet.
Of course, all of this trip was meaningless. He was just buying her like shut up gifts, I guess. But Maria's not that girl.
And why? Just leave your family. You know what I mean?
But Maria knew almost the entire time of the 2 years he had Janet as his girlfriend. They barely lived together. Like he wasn't even living at home. He moved in with Janet 5 months before Maria's death. You piece of shit.
Yeah, and I just don't understand then why don't you just live there now? You know what I mean? Just go and make that be your life. It seems so simple.
He can't just let Maria be. He can't. So the cops want to speak to Janet, obviously.
They haul her in at 6:30 in the morning.
He goes, I didn't call you in at 6:30 just because I'm nosy.
Yeah.
So they tell Janet that Maria is dead and she starts to cry.
Yes.
So they want to hear about the relationship from Janet's point of view. And she's like, we've been dating for 2 years. She calls him her boyfriend. She says Maria is very depressed and they asked Janet if Maria did drugs and Janet said no.
Right.
Janet knew the whole time.
Yeah, Maria's autopsy is done. She's got no medication in her system, but they do find a needle prick in her arm.
Like if you had blood drawn at the doctor's or something, just like one small dot in like the elbow crease.
Like as though you married a nurse anesthetist.
And he injected you with something and fucking killed you.
Exactly.
Because he couldn't just let you live your life and let their kids have their mother.
Exactly. Exactly.
How many lives do you have to ruin to have this? Like,
and that,
not me almost quoting the birdcage while I'm wearing my birdcage straight looking shirt. I know you want to get married, but how many lives do you have to ruin to do it? Gene Hackman. But like, how many? Like, what is wrong with you?
Calista Flockhart is in that.
I know.
It's why, and Dan Futterman.
I know.
Who I love.
Yeah.
Was nominated. Have we done this already?
Probably.
Nominated for an Academy Award for writing the movie Capote.
We have done this.
Yeah, because you said he was nominated for another one.
Did I?
I think so.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But I love Dan Futterman. Anyway, so what we learned from the autopsy is that
Maria died from a mixed drug intoxication. While the medical examiner couldn't say how the drugs got into her system, she did rule out suicide after talking to Maria's friends and reading her journal.
they did rule out suicide after speaking to Maria's friends and reading through her journal.
Right. And speaking of her journal, like her journal is saying, what is it that I want? Number one, move forward, whichever direction, but I don't want to be in limbo.
Yeah.
Number two, be in peace and be happy. If we decide to get back together, I want to find peace and happiness. If we decide to divorce, I want to find peace and happiness. This was a woman with a plan
Yes.
for her life. She was trying so hard, probably mostly for her kids.
Yes.
And like, it's so sad to see her like I can just imagine someone sitting there trying to do the best she can to salvage. Like, she's making a plan. She's writing it out. And she's trying to speak it into action. And this piece of shit just can't fucking be bothered.
And I keep thinking about how she's so much younger than him. Like, he's got 11 years of life experience on her.
He's been bullying her and abusing her, and now the steroids are involved.
Yes.
Like, he's an asshole.
And imagine what he's doing to the kids.
Yes. So Dr. John Hunsinger's here.
This guy's kind of a hero.
He's Hoel's former boss.
Yeah.
He's an anesthesiologist.
Like, he's a what now?
An anesthesiologist.
I know, but that's just another, it's like an anesthetist.
I know. Anesthesiologist.
Well, that's easier, I guess.
It is. Anesthetist.
You gotta say it kind of gay.
Yeah, that's great. You gotta hit those T's. So Dr. John's like, wait a second. He's immediately suspicious. He calls the cops. He's like, he tells them to order. He calls the cops and says, you're missing it. You need to order a, quote, detailed toxicology screening to determine which drugs killed Maria and, quote, how they got there.
My question is this. I watched The Pit, right? So does everybody else.
Sure.
If one drug
crying hysterically every single episode.
Also averting my eyes, basically watching it through my open fingers.
Yeah.
But like, if one drug goes missing for 2 minutes, doesn't everybody fucking know? Doesn't like the gates come down around the hotel? How is he getting out of his job with enough drugs to kill his wife?
There's plenty of ways.
Are there?
Of course.
Why do I feel like you're always telling me the dark truths of the universe?
That's why I'm tired all the time, I think. I have to live with knowing it. There are ways you can get anything you want.
I mean, but that is crazy.
Right. And who's to say he's getting it from his job? He could be getting it online. He could be getting it like literally anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, and this is one of the crazy things. We're at Maria's funeral.
Oh my God.
Hoel is laying to the back row.
Oh, yeah.
What made me feel angry was him near the casket, crying over her, giving her kisses. Like, why now? You have made her suffer and cry so much, and you're doing this now?
Friend Jasmine is like, yeah, I don't buy it.
No.
It's all too much. Also, why now? You were a dick to her when she was alive.
Exactly.
You hurt her. You made her cry all the time. Now you're literally throwing yourself on her casket.
Truly.
Jasmine's like, kick rocks.
No, yeah.
So the cops don't buy it either.
No.
They know he's full of shit. Because he's also on the record saying, I did not inject Maria with anything, which we know is a lie. We just have to prove it.
Exactly.
So the night of the murder, remember when Hoel had the bottle of pills that he showed to the cop? And then it was suddenly missing. And then we hear Officer De La Cruz like ask about it. And that's when he was like, well, that's weird. And also, what else is he hiding?
Right.
Let's go back to the video because we can see exactly what happened.
We see the bottle of pills on the side, and then we see Hoel reach over and grab it.
While Officer De La Cruz is trying to save Maria's life doing CPR,
yes,
the pill container's on the bedroom floor. We see Hoel swipe it, put it in his pocket.
Yes.
And now, like, what about this, like, needle catheter that randomly is just on the steps going up the stairs when you have 2 young children?
And we know that a needle was used to inject this overdose into her.
Right. So the lawyers are going to move forward with the murder charge. They're like, the medical examiner can't really say that it's a homicide, but we know that it is, so we're just going to do it.
We get this, like, one really scary moment. We learn that the Saturday before Maria died, there was a confrontation at Janet's house because Maria drove by and saw Hoel's car in her park. But, like, this is where I don't think that we're being given all the information about the living situation because we were just told that he basically has lived there for the last 5 months. So why is Maria upset to see his car? I don't understand
But I think he was bullshitting her because based on Maria's journals, she's like, I just want to work through this. I think to string her along, he was like, yeah, we'll work on it. Yeah, we'll fix it. And then she's like seeing his car. Like, it's like, are you with me or are you not?
Well, and so she goes to the door and she says to him.
We see this all on the Ring camera.
Yeah, you got to choose me or her. And he says, I choose Janet.
Now, we don't get this information either, but something happens and Maria and Hoel leave together.
Right.
So Janet, the girlfriend, calls 911.
Yeah.
And by the time the cops get there.
Even that tells us something, that Janet knows that the cops need to be called. Like, does she know that Maria's not safe or the kids aren't safe? Or
So just to like be really clear about this, we're at Janet, the girlfriend's house.
Yes.
There's some kind of fight in some way. Maria and Hoel leave the girlfriend's house together. We don't know why. The girlfriend, Janet, calls the cops.
Yeah.
So by the time the cops get there, Janet is by herself because Hoel and Maria have left together. When the cops call Maria, who is left with Hoel, the body cam picks up the audio of the phone call.
It's like Maria answers it and then hangs up.
When Maria answered her cell phone, the officer's body cam recorded the sound of Hoel berating her in the background.
Hey, I'm talking to you right now. Hang up the I guess that's your boyfriend.
Yeah.
She answers it for like 2 seconds, and we just hear Joel screaming at her.
It's so loud that
Yeah.
it's getting picked up on the body cam. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm fucking talking to you right now. Hang up the fucking phone.
Yeah.
And the cop's like, that's your boyfriend? And she's like, husband. So the absolute nerve of this piece of shit to cheat on her, abuse her,
Yes.
weaponize her depression,
Yes,
by the way.
yes.
Do everything he can to make it worse, treat her so horribly, and then have the nerve to speak to her like that.
Exactly.
And
I
also
know.
lying to her and stringing her along. Yeah, we'll work on it.
Right.
Be right back. Let me go to my girlfriend of 2 years' house.
Well, Maria, we gotta get you out of there.
So Angela, the friend neighbor, she's here to confirm all of this and say, like, look, Maria told me that after this situation, Joel got violent. After screaming at her, he punched and broke the windshield on her car.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm like, I would really like to have the conversation about steroids because we've been down this road before.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I'm not making excuses, obviously,
No.
but like steroids and aggression go together.
100%.
And so we know that he like scrubbed his Insta feed to make it, because he was like a gym rat. Like he admitted to doing steroids. Like there's a
This is
connection.
what's going on. And so, but then after this big, huge fight, the next day, Maria sends him a text about hiring a divorce lawyer. He's saying he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to spend the money.
Speak for yourself. Don't tell her what she can and can't
Exactly.
do.
Bear that in mind.
Joel then seems to have had a change of heart and sends Maria this email. I'm so sad. I'm hurting inside. I want to sit down with you to talk without arguing. A heart to heart.
I want to sit down with you and have a heart-to-heart.
Nobody cares about me. I want to tell someone my feelings, but I can't.
They agree to meet Monday night. So this is going to be the next night. Before Joel arrives, Maria messages her friend saying, pray for me tonight. We're going to have the talk.
So what
He's luring her.
He ends it with, I want to sit down with you to talk without arguing a heart-to-heart. Stop implying that Maria is the problem.
Exactly.
The way I read that is like, I don't want to fight Maria. Don't make this a fight. Let's have a heart-to-heart.
Am I crazy or is he setting this up to go there to kill her?
100%.
This is not like he snapped in the moment and he couldn't take it. His plan when he sent that email was to go kill
and
her.
he still was messy about it. And we
Yes.
still got the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So they meet on Monday. And before they do, you're right, Maria texts her friend Yasmin and is like, please pray for me because we're going to have this talk. But she's saying, can you please just pray that God's will be done in this conversation? She wants it all to work out.
Yes.
She's invested so much of herself into this relationship. And
I think
this
she
piece of
wants
shit
it
can't be bothered.
to work out or for it to be over, but for one way or the other, for there to be some sort of decision.
She says that God allows him to just be honest.
Yes.
She just wants it to be over one way or the other.
Yeah.
So Maria dies that night. He kills her that night.
Yes.
And we finally get the toxicology results that his old boss ordered the cops. He was like, you need a more detailed one because something isn't right here.
Yeah, this is insane.
So there's no non-lorazepam in it.
Right.
Which is what he tells the cops Maria had taken, right?
Yes, yeah.
Here's what was actually in Maria's system. Hold tight, pull over, because I have details about this.
Yeah.
0 clonazepam.
0 clonazepam, the drug Joel claimed Maria had taken. Instead, the toxicology report revealed 7 other drugs in Maria's system.
So positive for morphine, Demerol, Versed, Propofol, ketamine, lidocaine, Narcan.
Morphine, which is a strong painkiller. Demerol, which is an opioid painkiller. Versed, which is, it's the thing that helps you to relax and go to sleep before a surgical procedure. It can also block your memory of the procedure. An extremely high level of propofol, which sounds fake, but is very real.
Yeah, it's the thing that killed Michael Jackson.
It's what puts you to sleep and keeps you asleep during general anesthesia or medical procedures. Ketamine, which medically is used to induce a loss of consciousness and relieve pain. Lidocaine, which is a local anesthetic, which is odd. It's like cream.
Yeah.
And Narcan, which reverses overdoses.
Right.
And not the pills that Joel said she had taken.
Right.
Joel, girl.
I know.
How did you plan this
But
and also fuck it up so badly? I'm so glad you did.
It just seems, right. It just seems like there was almost no planning here.
Like throwing everything at the wall and then
Yeah, and they say most of these are used in surgery. One, the propofol could only be administered through an IV. And they know right away in looking at this toxicology report that this guy killed his wife. This is it. They know it.
So the cops get a warrant. They go to his house. And when they arrest him, he knows exactly what's going on and why
He
they were there.
throws himself at the police. He's like, I'm here.
At one point, he goes to the cops, you can call my lawyer. And they're like, no, girl,
You can call your
them.
lawyer.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
I know.
So remember Dr. John Hunsinger? He's the anesthesiologist and the killer's former boss. He's the one who told the cops to order the advanced testing.
Yeah.
They show him the results, and he's like, this is insane.
Insane.
He's so shocked, but mostly at the level of propofol. And that's the one you can only administer using a needle.
Right. He's saying, like, that's the drug that killed Michael Jackson. You know, and he's saying, like, it makes you relax greatly, but it stops your heart if you take too much of it. And he said Maria's was the highest level of propofol he'd ever seen.
He says, quote, this was death by propofol.
Yes.
So back to Janet, the husband's girlfriend. The cops know she knows more.
Right.
So they give her immunity in exchange for any and all information. And she does a second interview with the police sitting next to her lawyers.
Yes.
And this is where she says that Joel was always bringing, quote, medical drugs into her house and using them recreationally. And the whole list I just read before, ketamine, morphine, lidocaine, fentanyl, Versed.
Janet told police that Peyote had often brought drugs to her home, some for his own recreational use, including ketamine, morphine, lidocaine, fentanyl, and more.
Versed, propofol. Propofol?
He's using them recreationally in front of Janet, his girlfriend of 2 years.
Yeah.
Janet, girl.
Janet.
What the fuck is
Damn
wrong
it,
with you?
Janet.
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
I can't even.
I know. I know.
But then,
I know.
so she's like listing all the things that he's using recreationally, which is like, Janet, fucking run.
And it's also just, right. Like, that is so fucking crazy.
Right. But then Janet mentions propofol, and you can almost see the cop fall over in his chair. He's like, propofol?
The thing that makes me really nervous about this for him is that, like, this is your nurse anesthetist. This is who you're counting on when you're getting a surgical. You can't. He's not only doing these drugs recreationally in his off hours, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
He's coming to work fucked up on these drugs.
Of course.
I mean, that is terrifying.
Okay, everybody shut up.
I know.
Because now we get the slow motion walk of these four stunning queens. So the district attorney.
I just love the idea that they all showed up for the interview and they're like, so where actually do you want us to do the slow motion walk? Should we do it from behind those doors?
And they're like, wherever you want.
They knew they were going to do the slow motion walk.
These women are so fucking incredible. So Maricela Jackman is the chief assistant DA in charge.
District Attorney Isidro Alaniz selected a team of attorneys led by Maricela Jackman.
I am Karina Rios.
My name is Ana Karen Garza.
My name is Cristal Calderon.
We are Maria's team.
It's like we're meeting the fucking Avengers. Karina, Anna, Crystal, Maricela. As Shania Twain once said, let's go, girls. Like, we are gonna get the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I love that they're all doing the interview together.
Oh, yeah.
They walked in together. Like, these four women know what happened.
Yeah.
Joel killed Maria, and he was abusing her before. Like, Maria was suffering.
And we see this video that Maria secretly recorded from inside the car. She's just trying to have a conversation with her fucking husband, the father of her children. And she can tell he wants to leave. And she says, if you leave, we are getting a divorce. And he goes, okay, fine. And he gets up and he walks out.
He's a baby.
I mean, but also just an abusive son of a bitch.
And they're saying, like, this is domestic violence. The cheating, the violence, even if he's not hitting Maria, breaking the windshield, that counts.
Yeah.
Like, Maria was powerless. And we know this because of her own journals. She goes, I love my husband so much, and he's causing me so much pain.
Yes.
She was trying so hard.
Yeah.
So, like, she says, she's like, what are the expectations you have on this marriage? She's calm. She's so clear. She's exhausted.
Yeah.
And he storms out of the car like a baby. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl.
And the women, these amazing attorneys are saying the big question remains. We know he killed her, but how did he get her to take all of those drugs?
What happened?
Right. Because, like, I mean, there's no way that he could have injected her with all 7 separately. Or, you know what I mean? Like, something happened where she was either tricked into ingesting them or somehow he got her to take them.
Well, Janet, the girlfriend, is possibly the key to all this because she says that Joel actually told her what happened.
Yeah.
She said Peyote had told her about the night Maria died. He had gone there, he said, to have that heart-to-heart talk, and then injected her, not to kill her, Peyote said, but to calm her down.
Why did he tell you that he injected her? Because she was erratic?
Right. He wanted to calm her down. So he did it with medication.
He injected Maria, quote, to calm her down. Maria was crazy.
Now, my question about this, he injected her to calm her down. Are they saying he did that against her will? Or are they saying that, like, with her consent, he gave her some sort of sedative?
He's lying to his girlfriend to say, like, yeah, she died, but it was an accident. She was so crazy. You know my wife is crazy. Because women are always
It was
crazy.
just the idea that he was, like, forcefully injecting something to calm her. That scared me to death.
And also that, like, he made her think he was going to work with her on the marriage.
Right.
He lied to her. her to come over there and fucking kill her. I hate him.
I know.
So the cops don't buy it, and they're like, thanks, Janet. Thanks for fucking nothing.
Right.
You could have helped, by the way, 2 years ago.
Totally.
You could have warned Maria. I don't know. Maybe they had conversations about his drug use. I don't know, but it's not in her journals that we see.
Yeah.
Janet, you could have helped
I know,
Maria.
and I want to know when she called the cops. Was she calling the cops on Joel or was she calling the cops on Maria?
I don't know.
That, for me, feels like an important question.
Because the cops called Maria. So it could be we're doing a welfare check.
Yep.
Or we need you to come back here because we need a conversation.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We have no idea. The cops think that this guy drugged Maria's coffee.
She then passes out.
After that, they say, Peyote injected Maria with a deadly dose of propofol. Then Chief Assistant District Attorney Ana Karen Garza Gutierrez says that Peyote deliberately waited to call for help.
Ketamine, Versed, morphine, Demerol, all could have been slipped into her coffee.
Yeah.
And she passed out, and then he injected her with the propofol. And they're saying, like, it was such an insane amount to make sure that she never woke up. Like, this was all
And it's
planned.
just like, it feels like the only thing that matters here was the killing of her. It wasn't about getting away with it. It wasn't about his life after. It wasn't that he was killing her so he could be with Janet. He was killing her to kill her.
And that email he wrote her was at 1 a.m. And like, I know people are night owls, but it feels manic. It feels like, I don't know what the appropriate term is for like, I don't want to say like roid rage, but like just in a manic, like aggressive state of like, I'm going to email her and I'm going to trick her and I'm going to, like, who knows if it also was part of the steroids of him like snapping and not thinking ahead, but thinking ahead enough to write this email at 1 a.m. and then the next day have this conversation and go through with it.
Right. So Joel is arrested. He's charged with murder and tampering with evidence. He makes bail. He's like released with a fucking ankle monitor.
Yeah.
In March 2023, 2.5 years after Maria's death, Joel goes on trial for the murder.
Oh my God.
I know. I love this. We get the note that both Joel and the defense team declined interview requests.
I don't need them here. I'm fine.
Can you imagine if they were?
I have this amazing team of women, Maria's team of women who are here.
Because they present 15 witnesses to show that he had carefully selected the drugs he used to kill Maria.
And they're all talking about the abuse in the relationship.
Yeah.
And how he was always stealing drugs and how he was fucking mean to her and she was suffering on a regular basis, just trying to, like, at the very least, like, get him to be decent to her and her fucking kids.
And then the defense team, so they acknowledge that Joel injected his wife, but not to kill her, they say to save her, because one of the drugs in the 7 that he injected her with was Narcan. Now, I love Maria's team because they've got the fucking answer to this.
Because the defense was like, she was an unstable wreck who was self-medicating.
Yes.
She was crazy. She was drinking all the time. She was using drugs. Like, what's Joel to do?
Right. So he saw her OD and he injected her with Narcan to save her life.
Give me a fucking break.
And the women say...
Narcan is not a reversal agent for propofol. And propofol was what stopped her heart at the end.
The defense never explained to the jury how the propofol got into Maria's system. But prosecutors say that the level of drugs discovered in Maria's body could not have been accidental.
Narcan is not a reversal agent for propofol, and propofol is what stopped her heart in the end.
Right.
They knew exactly that they were going to say that.
They knew exactly. Exactly. So the amount of drugs alone proves this wasn't an accident.
They say it was enough drugs in her system to get you through 2 full surgical procedures.
Yep.
We're talking like 2 full 8-hour procedures.
Yeah. I mean, it's horrifying. And he has, I'm so like, just the unbelievable level of abuse that this woman had to endure at the hands of this person.
And they say the prosecution believes the motive was money and not like some insane insurance payout. The money that he didn't want to spend for a fucking divorce and then split his assets. He killed his wife over a couple $1,000s.
But he did have a lucrative job.
I guess, but it's like...
I'm not defending him.
No, of course, but you've got 2 kids.
Of course.
And we say this all the time. It's been 9 years of saying this, that like when the spouse does this, it like kills the other spouse and you rob your children of all of their parents in one fell swoop. It's so just monstrous. It's just so monstrous.
It's like you take 2 parents away and you replace it with a lifetime of trauma.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Exactly.
You fucking piece of shit. So the killer doesn't testify, but his mother sure did. She's crying the whole time. She admits she knew about the affair. It seems like everyone knew about the affair.
Yeah.
Maria told her about the affair. Maria also confided in her that she was unhappy in her marriage and that her son was abusing Maria.
Right.
So there's zero evidence that Maria ever abused drugs or alcohol. Like, they're trying to do this character assassination bullshit. We have our superhero women lawyers saying like, absolutely fucking not. They're shooting everything down. The evidence is there.
Right.
You can't lie, you can't fake science,
Right,
everyone.
right,
like,
right,
no matter
right.
how much Hoel tried to,
Exactly.
you can't do it.
The jury gets the case. They go out and it takes them less than an hour. That's
They're
my
like-
favorite. I love that.
Everyone was like, we know what we're doing, right?
We know what we're exactly.
We'll sit here for 45 minutes so they think we talked about it, but it's all very obvious, right?
Yeah.
So he's guilty of murdering his wife, Maria. He's guilty of tampering with evidence.
Yeah, he gets life in prison. The prosecutors say
The most important witness at trial ended up being Maria herself, and that her journals showed those scars were healing.
I want a life that's mine, different and unique. A life that's balanced with every emotion, but a happy, fulfilling life.
I don't need everything to be perfect. I just like don't want to be abused all the time.
Exactly.
And she was so willing to fight.
Yeah.
And like try to make this right with this man that at a time she loved.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then he's like totally turned on her. And we end, oh my God, this made me cry today. We end on this video of her playing piano because she was learning how to play piano. And she's sort of like plunking out the notes. And she like turns to the camera and she like kind of shrugs. And it's really sweet. And it just made me
I know.
cry watching it because it's like she's just living, like she was living her life. Like she's like, I'm here. I have this world. I have these kids. I want to learn how to play piano.
Yeah.
I want to go to school and do this. I'm from, you know, like just to see her like trying it and then just like shrugging like, well, that's all I got for today. Was such a like pure, wholesome moment.
Yeah.
And I love that we had so much of her voice in here. I love these lady lawyers. And I just loved that we ended on that note. Oh my God.
Oh, girl, we did 48 hours.
We
What's it
did
called?
Fuck This Guy.
The Journals of Maria Munoz?
Yes, 48 Hours, The Journals of Maria Munoz.
Oh my goodness. Fam, join our Facebook group. Get in the Facebook group and tell us your thoughts on the episode. We
Yes.
love that. Also join the Disky. It's the Discord.
Yeah, the Discord.
How do I find Discord?
We'll have a link in our show notes.
Okay, great. That sounds like a good way to find the
just have
Discord.
the app.
I know. Also join our Patreon. Over 450 full ad-free bonus apps to download a binge right this second.
Right this second.
Fox Hollow, we're doing the, what's her
Flying
name?
in the Snow.
I mean, that's Karen Reed.
John
and
O'Keefe.
it's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild.
That's all. We love you.
We love you so much. Stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Find women in your life who are amazing.
It's true. Do that.
Can you?
Yeah, please, for all of us.
We'll make everyone's lives better. Women are the best.
It's true. All right, bye.
Bye. We love you.